Hey, good morning and welcome. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Tom Barfield Show. We are so glad you're with us as we welcome you into the program. We got a big show for you today. Coming up, Brice Cherry, the Waco Tribune Herald's going to be with us. It will also have Johnny Tusa, former Waco High coach, former Waco ISD athletic director. He's going to be in studio with us. So we'll visit with JT coming up a little later on in the program. Hey, we're presented by Toe King. Gary Hoffman and his team, 254-666-5484 is that phone number. Write it down, put it in your phone, do something, put it in your glove box. You need that number, and because they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance. So, hey, if you ever get in a jam and you need some help, they've got it. Now, you may be driving a Volkswagen, you may be driving an 18-wheeler. They've got the equipment that can help you if you get in a pinch and you need some assistance. 24-hour roadside assistance. Great people, family owned and operated. That is Toki, and that's kind of our theme around here. We like family owned and operated businesses, and that's who we work with a lot on the program. Speaking of which, if you want to be a part of this program, maybe you own a business, maybe you manage a business, and you're thinking, hey, this would be kind of cool to share the word with our business, just like David did with a brand new business that is joining us, and that's Benchmark Construction. So they did the exact same thing. You can too. Just send me an email. It's tom@roguemedianetwork.com. tom@roguemedianetwork.com, and we'll connect and we'll work through it and see what we can do for you. Lark Smith, good morning. How are you?
I am awake somehow.
Okay, well, that's half the battle, isn't it?
Yeah, nowadays, as long as you're waking up, you're doing pretty good.
This side of the dirt.
Yes, sir.
That's always a good thing. This side of the dirt. You had a ball game like yesterday, right?
I did. I had McLennan non-conference game with Coastal Bend. I think that's the old B County College, but they started adding some satellite campuses, so they renamed it Coastal Bend. McLennan got 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the second, added 9 more in the third, and ended up winning this one in the run rule 17-3.
But you told me there was 20 runs scored in that game, and you played the game in less than 2.5 hours?
Yeah, about 2:20.
That's moving along.
Yeah. I think there was only like 8 walks in the game. Now there were several, full counts. Early in the game, but no, it was one of those games that McLennan just hit the ball all over the yard. They didn't hit any home runs, but a lot of doubles.
Well, good.
And just first pitch hacking and send the ball in play and make things happen.
Coach Leverton was pleased with his club then.
Certainly was, and they got this is their week off from conference play. So they're playing a doubleheader Wednesday over in Mount Pleasant against Northeast Texas. And then on Saturday, they'll be back at Bosque River Ballpark to take on Northeast for the other 2 games of that 4-game series with the team from Region 14.
Okay, good stuff. I was just looking at the rankings. Have you seen the latest rankings for softball and baseball?
I saw the latest baseball rankings.
Yeah, so several Texas teams in the rankings. McLennan's, number 12? I'm just kind of looking around, perusing to see local teams are close to several of their conference opponents are in the top 25.
Yeah, I would think Grayson and Weatherford might be in there somewhere. And then from the Western Conference, Midland is probably the team to beat in the region this year. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah, they're number
halfway
2.
Through. Yeah,
Midland. Johnson County is number 1. Midland is number 2. Blinn is has moved up to number 3. Let's see. Weatherford is number 21. San Jack is number 13.
And San Jack's not that good this year.
Well, they're 23-7 according to them.
I understand, but they're still not that good this year.
Okay,
not what we're used to.
Your record says you are.
not what we're used to seeing. San
Jack. That's all I
Jack.
can tell you. You are what your record says you are. Now on the softball side, there is a lot of teams.
Yeah.
In fact, Grayson is number 1 in the country. Northeast Alabama 2, Northwest Florida State 3, Florida Southwestern is number 4. Now here are the Texas teams. Let's see. Trinity Valley is number 7. Temple is number 8. Blinn is number 15. Odessa is number 16. Galveston is number 19. Paris is number 20. Weatherford is number 23. And McLennan is number 5. So there are several several Texas JUCO teams that are among the elite.
Yeah, well, you go back in time and look at teams that make it to the World Series, be it softball or baseball, and those that make it and end up winning it are usually teams from the South, especially Texas. I think the state of Texas has produced like 28 to 30 World Series, junior college World Series champions. When you think about San Jacinto was there for like 27 years in a row.
Yeah.
When Ring Graham was the head coach there, they won like 5 or 6 out of 7 times they went up there. So their championships, along with recently McLennan and Blinn championships, have added to that total of Texas teams that win at the Junior College World Series. Last year, Salt Lake was the first time that they won it. They had to play, who was it? I think they played Blinn in the final because Blinn had won it the year before. So between Blinn, San Jac, McLennan, and every now and then a team out west like Midland or Odessa will sneak in. New Mexico plays pretty good. You get those teams that are playing down south, some of the teams over in Arizona, a lot of the teams from Florida. I mean, it's all southern driven because you look at the rosters and you see kids from Canada and North Dakota, places north where it's cold, they come south to play.
Yeah, and it's just good baseball here. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just really good baseball.
Absolutely.
Here, and there's, and a lot of those players obviously go on. I remember one year when Mitch Thompson was down the river at McLennan, he had 2 former shortstops starting in the Southeast Conference.
Right.
I mean, that's the kind of quality players you have. And I'm not talking about just any SEC school. I'm talking about one was at Arkansas.
Yeah, you had Jalen Battle at Arkansas and George Khalil at South Carolina.
Correct.
Yeah.
Both starting in the SEC and they're former McLennan players. So those guys just find a place to play in this around here, and then they move on to really nice Division I opportunities.
Yeah, and we're seeing more and more junior college players now that will transfer from Division I to junior college, spend a year at junior college, getting some playing time, and then moving back to Division I. We've got a shortstop right now, Peyton Ferkins at McLennan, that came from, I want to say Dallas Baptist. I think that's wrong, though. Maybe it was A&M, but he's on his way to Mississippi State next year. So he's just here for 1 year. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this, and we don't talk a lot about it, but we probably should. But Baylor women golf, all 4 players, I think they take 4 player scores out of the 5 or 6 that play. All 4 of those players, they're playing in the golf tournament in Phoenix. All 4 were subpar.
Wow.
You don't see that very often.
No.
And this, I'll tell you how good this golf tournament is. That doesn't put them in first place.
Wow.
That puts them up there, but it doesn't put them in first place. I think they're in second, but they're 8 strokes back of USC. So I'm just telling you, that's an amazing feat when you have every player go under par. So pretty good stuff.
Absolutely.
Pretty good stuff there. All right, let's see. I don't know if you saw this. Last thing before we move on. Did you see how Carter Baumler was found out he was going to make the club, the Texas Rangers club?
Yeah.
So the skipper, Skip Schumacher, comes out. They're playing in Kansas City. It's still part of the spring training, I guess. I don't know how you would describe those last 2 games.
Exhibition games.
They're exhibition games. They're in Kansas City. He comes out to the mound. The catcher comes out to the mound. All 4 infielders come to the mound. The Baumler's thinking, what in the world? I've only thrown to 2 batters.
It's just a mound visit, right?
First of all, why are we having a mound visit from the manager? When the manager comes, the manager usually is taking the pitcher out of the game.
Right.
He's like, what in the world did I do?
Yeah.
And the manager, Skip Schumacher, came out there to let him know as a rookie he was going to make the team and he was going to be on the opening day roster. I thought that was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Pretty neat stuff. So
yeah.
Good stuff there. All right. This is the Tom Barfield Show. It's a Tuesday. We are off and running. We're glad you're with us. Again, we're presented by our friends at Toe King, and really keep that number handy. And we're brought to you by one of our new sponsors, man. David and his team. He's the president. David's the president over at Benchmark Construction, Catastrophic and Consult, and you can check them out at at benchmarkc3.com. That's benchmarkc3.com. They specialize in disaster recovery, construction, indoor air quality, all kinds of solutions for homes and businesses. I know they do a lot of hotel and motel renovations, whether it's a disaster or they're just, redoing that property. You see that all the time. And those guys take care of those places for them. And, one thing, Lark, I wanted to point out with Benchmark, because they're not going to point it out. They do a lot in this community that people have no clue. They're always sponsoring this or sponsoring, and they don't want any publicity for it. They're always helping out, in nonprofit situations, and they don't want any publicity for it. They just do it. And so I wanted to toot their horn a little bit. So thank you, Benchmark, for being a great partner in our community. Benchmark Construction, one of our proud new sponsors. All right, we take the break, and when we come back, we visit with Brice Cherry, the Waco Tribune-Herald. That's next on the Tuesday edition of the Tom Barfield Show. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
I had a panic moment running my hands through my hair, and that's when I found Keeps. Keeps gave me the results that I was really looking for.
I definitely felt a lot more confident once I saw my hair coming back.
Keeps has given me the control of my hair back.
Get your first month free at Keeps.com.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
Welcome to Kit Bag, the ultimate destination for football fans. Whether you're cheering for Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, or any other top club, for true football passion, think Kit Bag. Visit kitbag.com today. That's KITBAG.com. Kit Bag.
And you're back with us on this Tuesday edition of the program, and we are brought to you in part by Waco Bodyman Company. Hey, they can help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Check them out today at wacobodymen.com. That's wacobodymen.com. Another business in this downtown corridor, and they're right off of Marion. You're gonna love checking those guys out. So, book a tour with Thomas and his team, and they'll be happy to show you around Waco Bodymen. In fact, I think sometime this week we're going to have Thomas on the program. So, and he'll get us up to speed on what's going on over at Waco Bodyman. All right, let's talk with Brice Cherry, the Waco Tribune-Herald. Brice, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Just fine. How about you?
Doing great. We got Coach Johnny Tusa in the studio. He's gonna try to follow you, and that's gonna be a tough challenge.
Oh my gosh. I'm just glad I'm not following him. We know that Coach Tusa can talk a little bit. So yeah, that'll be fun for your viewers, your listeners, whatever you want to call them.
Both. We'll call them both. Just call me to dinner, right?
That's right.
Hey, are you getting the itch? I mean, Thursday's opening day. You starting to kind of get a little twinge for your Astros?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun. I wrote a column last week about how there needs to be some new national holidays out there. And I mentioned Super Bowl Sunday. I mentioned March Madness Day, the first, Thursday of March Madness. And I mentioned opening day as one of those too. And opening day is just one of those days where, it's fun to be a sports fan. It's fun to be a baseball fan. And everybody's got hope. We'll see how long it lasts. I mean, I think with my Astros that you mentioned, I mean, they've got some question marks like a lot of teams. Everybody's chasing the Dodgers. They're operating on a whole different pay scale than everybody else. The Kyle Tucker deal was was tough because that was a former Astro guy there, and but they're paying money that nobody else can afford to pay. But more power to them. I mean, this is the system, and they're just operating within it. But yeah, it'll be fun. It's always fun on opening day.
Everybody's 0-0, right, Brice? I mean, we all have hope. You've got hope. We Ranger fans, we have hope. I mean, there's hope abroad in Major League Baseball because we're all undefeated on opening day.
That's right. And I mean, it's a long season. And typically they say you can't win a pennant in April, but you can lose it. I mean, but the Astros have gotten off to some slow starts over the years and managed to kind of scratch their way back. So I think the big thing is knowing that a win here, a loss here, it's not, this thing's a marathon. I mean, is the cliche. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to seeing the Stros play, and maybe I try to get to at least one game a season down in Houston, and then the family and I are going on a trip this summer because I got 2 graduating, one from A&M and one from Midway, and
you must have a lot of money. A lot.
Yeah, you show me where that money is, buddy.
College Station.
Right. But we're going to Toronto as one of our stops and going to see the Stros and Blue Jays play up there. So that'll be fun.
That will be an awesome trip.
Yeah.
Is this the way the roster is constructed in your mind? Is this a playoff team, the Astros?
Man, I have questions about the pitching. I think they went out and tried to get some pitchers and sort of build some depth, but they lost Framber Valdez. They've got some guys. Mike Burrows is the one they picked up. Of course, they've got the I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. I still have to learn it. But the kid from Japan he's dealing in spring training. I mean, he's hit like 98, with this fastball and stuff. So, Hunter Brown is still their ace, but I just still have some question marks about their rotation. The Mariners are probably the team everybody's chasing in that division. So, the Astros probably have some ground to make up, but I think they can make the playoffs. I mean, obviously last year was unusual not being in the postseason because the Astros had a pretty good run.
Brice, and I know we've been doing it a while, but are you a purist? I mean, I don't like the fact that the Rangers are going to open in Philadelphia. I mean, come on, open in an American League ballpark. You're an American League team, but I mean, that's where we are now.
Yeah, I get that. I don't know that bothers me that much, mainly because of the way the schedule is set up now. You're going to have interleague games basically every day of the year. And so, why not on opening day too? I mean, I understand what you're saying. And I think I'm more of a purist than I'm letting on. There's certain things I'm still sort of, wary about, like, the robot umps and things like that. But I hate the ghost runner in extra innings. I hate that. Like that to me just doesn't seem like baseball. Does it speed the game along? Sure it does. Of course it does. But I'm glad that they don't do that in the postseason. That they only do it in the regular season. But I one of the games I went to last year went to extra innings, and and it's just so weird to have an automatic guy on second base. But yeah, so I'm with you on certain things. The interleague thing, it doesn't bother me that much.
All right. Hey, and to your point, the beauty of baseball, in my opinion, is it's one of the sports that doesn't have a clock. So why are we worried about it? I mean, anyway, that's we can spend 2 shows talking about that. let's move on to the NCAA. I do a bracket just for fun. I mean, I'm not a bracket guy, I never have been. Do you fill out 16 brackets and follow it along?
No, I filled out one women's bracket, one men's bracket. I used the same bracket, I think, on CBS and ESPN. I'm in a couple of different bracket pools, but it was the same picks. So
Right.
yeah, I know that you can fill up on certain sites. You can fill up to like 25 brackets out. I'm like, good gosh, who has that much time? But yeah, you can absolutely hedge your bets doing it that way. But generally, if I think a certain team's going to do well, I'm not going to change that for just to maximize my bracket chances. But no, bracket time is fun, and however you want to do it. If you want to fill out a bunch of brackets, that's great. What's so funny to me about it is the people that don't really follow college basketball that closely are generally the ones who do really well in the brackets. And I'm going to give my wife a shout out here. She went 30-2 in the first round.
Oh,
Like I told her, I said, we need to go out and buy a lottery ticket.
Exactly. So I have 3 of my Final 4 left. How about you? Because I'll be honest with you, I picked an all Big 12 Final 4.
Yeah, I think I have all 4 left. I have Arizona, Duke, Iowa State, and did I have Houston in there? I'm gonna have to go back and look at my picks.
There's
but
3 Big 12 schools.
Right, that's 3. So yeah, I mean, I think I have all 4 left. Generally, I do well. I don't usually win the bracket pool, but generally, I do well picking the champ. I did not pick Florida last year. I did pick Houston to win last year, and they, of course, came up just a little bit short. This year, I've got Arizona winning it all.
As
To
do
me, yeah, they've looked like a national championship team all year. I will say a team that has thoroughly impressed me watching them is Michigan. Michigan's playing, they're playing on another level right now, just blowing teams out like they did early in the season. They had some wins early in the year where, they were beating Gonzaga by like 30, 40. It was just like, whoa. So, yeah, Michigan's got it going pretty well.
That was as good of a team win on Saturday as I've seen. I mean, that was unbelievable. And the crazy part, they're not selfish. I mean, so many times it was the extra pass that led to the bucket.
Yeah. And I think even though the voting on like National Player of the Year and stuff has already happened, I think if you were to do it today, I think Yaxel Lindenberg would climb in those rankings a lot because he's kind of the engine that makes them go. And man, he had a dunk where he just drove right through the defense and just hammered it on them. I mean, it was impressive. So yeah, Michigan is not going to be an easy out for anybody.
Let's talk about the women's tournament and specifically here at home. How do you see this 25-26 season for Nikki Collin and the Baylor women's basketball team? Is it, hey, great job, they got to the second round, or wow, things did not go well over the last couple of weeks of the season?
I would say more what you said there at the end. I mean, so you're talking about 4 out of her 5 years. They've gotten bounced in the second round. They've got 1 Big 12 championship. That was her first year. She's had, to me, Nikki has been in a very tough spot ever since she's gotten here. Like, she knew what she was getting into by following a legend. I always said I think it's probably better to be the one who follows the legend, if that makes sense. But, so like I said, Nikki knew what she was getting into. and they've been pretty good. They finished third in the Big 12 this year. I think, were they second last year? I've got that right here, actually. Yeah. So, second, third, they were tied for fourth 2 years before that. So, they're doing okay, but I think Baylor fans obviously got spoiled by Kim Mulkey, and is pretty good enough. I think they'd like more, and I think it probably grates on Baylor fans that TCU has surpassed them. TCU, a team that they beat every year for like 30 years, and now they're the class of the Big 12. Not only the class of the Big 12, the only Big 12 team left in the women's tournament. So I think the conference has kind of gone down. Obviously, the SEC is really, really tough in women's basketball, but yeah, I mean, are they going to make a change? Am I even saying they need to make a change? I don't think they will at this point. I don't see Doug McNamee pulling the trigger on Nikki right now, but I do think they need to start showing more. And one thing they need to do is get some shooting, because yeesh. I mean, to me, that was their weakness all year, because they could go long stretches without scoring. And I mean, Talia Scott's a next level scorer, but if it's all on her, and then you've got multiple defenders kind of, focusing on her, then that really leaves a lot on everybody else's plate. And those players just didn't really step up to that this year.
It sure felt like that Scott was the focal point of the offense, and that how she went is how they went.
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. And, against Duke, I think she was their leading scorer, but it was their lowest scoring game in like 10 years. I think they started off, not scoring for like 5 minutes, and turnovers were a big issue. That was an issue all year long. It was an issue for the Baylor men too, really. So, I think you need you need to go in the transfer portal, or, the recruiting portal, and find you some players that can fill some of those needs. I mean, I think they need some shooters. I think they need, maybe a dynamic ball handling guard. Their defense was pretty good this year, but I do think they regressed as the season went on. And, you're talking about a team that beat Duke in the season opener in Paris, and then just got their butts handed to them by Duke to end the season. So, what happened in between?
Good point. On to football. Most of the time, and I don't know how you feel about it, most of the time it's spring football's here. Okay, spring football's here. It feels a little different to me this year. I think there's some, I don't know if urgency is the word, but with Lagway here and the way the thing has been up and down like a yo-yo, what are your thoughts on this spring and the importance of this spring for this staff and this program?
Oh, yeah, I definitely think there's urgency. I think Dave Aranda is smart enough to feel that, to know that, there's been people calling for his head for a while, and he's still around, and he's kind of survived that chopping block. And I think it's fair to say that he only survived it this last year because Mack Rhodes ended up losing his job, or, parting ways, however you want to call it officially. And Baylor didn't necessarily want to hire both an athletic director and a head football coach at the same time. So, yes, the clock is ticking for Dave Aranda, and, they went out, they got Lagway. He's, obviously got the pedigree, he's including the Baylor pedigree with his father having played here. Has he done it yet? Like he's, he hasn't really shown it yet. Like he was okay at Florida, but I think Baylor fans are expecting more. But yes, I do think there's urgency. And I also feel like they're leaning into some things over there, like trying to make the coordinators more accessible to the media and that kind of thing. I mean, those may be little things, but I think that they're important things. So, they're trying to do some things different, learn from things that, maybe they hadn't done in the past.
And I think the offense should look a little different. I mean, you're going to have a guy that can do both. He can run, he can throw, and that's going to be a little different. And so the offense should look a little different in 26.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, Lagway's a different quarterback than Sawyer Robertson was. So yeah, I think you'll probably try to lean into his sort of dual threat abilities as much as possible, and his strengths as a passer, are probably different than Sawyer's. I tell you, Sawyer, I was at Pro Day on Sunday. Everybody always looks good throwing against air, but man, Sawyer was dropping dimes in there. It just looked beautiful. I think somebody is going to get a good quarterback, whoever picks him up either in the draft. I mean, he probably gets drafted. But even if it's just as an undrafted free agent guy, I think he can help somebody, he's smart. He throws a good ball, obviously, they didn't achieve what they wanted to here at Baylor, but I'm just so impressed with Sawyer and his maturity, his leadership. He's going to do well.
Anybody else jump off the page and maybe help themselves?
Yeah, Cole Wilson helped himself Sunday. That guy put on a show, and then the other guy that put on a show, and I'll talk about both of them, but Omar Agbedion, the offensive lineman. We'll start with him. He actually started it out with probably the most impressive thing of the day, which was, they bench press 225, right? Just do it just like they do at the combine. And he went 31 reps in that bench press. And the NFL scouts were like going, okay, all 32 teams are represented there. That would have been fourth at the combine. It would have been second among offensive linemen. So yeah, Omar showed something there. I mean, that was pretty impressive. And then, as I mentioned, Cole Wilson, the receiver, he had 21 reps in the bench press, which I felt like was a pretty high number for a receiver. It was the best of any of the receivers that lifted. And then 38 and a half in the vertical leap, which, he got up there. I thought he was going to get the very top of the thing that you swipe at. I don't know what they call that. Coach Tusa could tell us, but and then he said they clocked him at 4.35 to 4.38 in the 40. So yeah, that'll do. I think Cole Wilson helped himself on Sunday because with those kind of numbers, scouts pay attention to that stuff. Obviously, your film matters, and Cole Wilson had a good season. So, they had a very sort of balanced receiving core. I think Josh Cameron was clearly their number one guy, and Michael Trigg was kind of a matchup nightmare. But guys like Kobe Prentice and Ashton Hawkins and Cole Wilson are good receivers, and I think all of them have a chance to make an NFL roster.
Final thought for you, and we'll cut you loose. I appreciate your time, as always, here on Tuesdays, visiting with Brice Cherry, the Waco Tribune-Herald. Baseball this weekend on the road in Houston, and I just got a note the Saturday game is being moved from 6 p.m. to 1 p.m. to accommodate basketball, just in case they're in the Elite Eight. So weekend, though, I think for the Bears, they're 2-4 in conference play, and you don't want to dig too big a hole right now.
No, absolutely. I think they obviously would have liked to gone to Stillwater and gotten a series win. That didn't work out that way. There's still a lot of baseball to be played. I mean, again, a cliche, but it's true. I mean, we've just started Big 12 play. So, I think they're better than they've been. and they've clearly got some good wins under their belt. They've taken some lumps too, but they've played a really good schedule. But yeah, they need to start, stacking some wins together, to break that NCAA tournament drought.
Brice, what do you guys got coming up in the Waco trip? What are you covering this week? What does things look like for Central Texans?
Even with the Baylor women losing, the madness of March continues. Of course, the Baylor men will be playing in Las Vegas here later, start of April, which is kind of just a crazy thing. But whatever. I mean, it's a chance to play in the postseason, I guess. But to answer your question, we'll have the release of the Super Syntex basketball teams this week. Girls on Thursday, boys on Saturday. So, go check those out. The state boys powerlifting meet is this week, and we'll have a feature story on Axtell. They've got a good contingent going. Later this week, the Clyde Hart Classic on Saturday at Clyde Hart Track and Field Stadium. I'll be out there for that. And then you mentioned it, but spring football starts today for Baylor. Zach Smith is back from Durham, so I'm happy to hand football back over to him and say, go get it, man. I've got plenty of other things to do.
Hey, appreciate your time as always. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
See you later. That's Brice Cherry, sports editor of the Waco Tribune-Herald, and I'm telling you, it's a lot of moving parts when it comes to covering high school athletics, and then of course the junior college scene, and then Baylor and the Big 12. They do it. They get it done, and it's pretty cool to see those guys do their thing. Hey, we are presented by Toe King of Waco, and we're brought to you in part by our good friends over at Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers, 18th and Herring. They're open right now, and they're open till 4:30 today. They are open on Saturdays from 10 until 2. Best burger in Waco. Trust me when I tell you that. Just go by 18th and Herring and check it out. And you know what? They're going to cook that burger when you order that burger, not a second sooner. And that's what I love about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. Fresh ingredients, fresh buns, and man, it's a great meal. And you know what? It's a great conversation, too. You're going to talk sports. We're going to talk politics if you want. I don't, but you can. I'd rather talk sports and get into that argument with David or somebody over there at Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. 18th and Herring. Thanks to Perry and David and all the gang at Double R for sponsoring the program. We'll take a break. When we come back, we talk with Coach Johnny Tusa. That's next on the Tom Barfield Show.
When disaster strikes, you need a team you can trust. At Benchmark, we specialize in disaster recovery, construction, environmental remediation, and indoor air quality solutions. With over 30 years of experience, our experts provide forensic architecture, engineering, and environmental consulting to ensure every project is handled with precision and care. From damage assessment to full reconstruction, Benchmark delivers technical expertise and an unmatched client experience every step of the way. Visit benchmarkc3.com to learn more.
At Waco Bodyman Company, we help you take control of your health with advanced wellness and longevity solutions designed to help your body perform, recover, and thrive. Experience the power of red light therapy with our full body bed design to reduce inflammation, improve circulation, support skin health, and recharge your body at the cellular level. Step into our hydrotherapy room featuring a dry sauna, polar shower, and hot tub. Book your tour today. Waco Bodyman, open 7 days a week in downtown Waco.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Toe King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Toe King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Toe King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Toe King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over.
Is your roof ready for the next Texas storm? Don't wait for a small leak to become a big problem. Call JK Roofing of Waco. Whether you need roof repair, a full replacement, or a professional inspection, JK Roofing has quality workmanship and dependable service you can count on. Locally owned and committed to protecting Central Texas homes and businesses. Call JK Roofing today for your free estimate and get the job done right the first time. Call JK Roofing 254-744-2211. JK Roofing of Waco. Strong roofs, honest work, and peace of mind.
And you're back here on this Tuesday edition of the Tom Barfield Show. We're brought to you in part by our good friends at Morrison's Gifts. Sally and husband Mark, man, they do a terrific job over there. Here's the thing. Locally owned, locally operated business. We talk about it all the time here on our program. And they're at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Shopping Center. That's right down the strip center from Jason's Deli. And look, if you're in need of a gift, you're, maybe you just want to go, you know what? I just want to do something nice for her. Well, you can at Morrison's Gifts, 4312 West Waco Drive. Walk in and say, Sally, I don't know what I want, but I want to do something nice. And then she's going to take you around the store. It's going to take you just a few minutes. Next thing you know, you've got it. You can get it wrapped if you like, and then you're off and running. So you're not doing a lot of shopping. You're just doing some buying, fellas. So check them out at Morrison's Gifts, 4312 West Waco Drive. All right. I am thrilled, excited, and just jazzed up to have my next guest in the studio with us. We say good morning to my broadcast partner on Robinson High School football, Coach Johnny Tusa. Coach, good morning, and glad to have you here.
Hey, I'm honored to be here, Tom, and excited to be here.
Let's, before we dive into this sports stuff, give us your journey. I know you graduated here in town, went off to college, and I think you finished at Tarleton, correct?
I finished at Tarleton State, exactly 1970.
And then it's back to Waco to coach, right?
Back to Waco to coach, right? I got hired at actually at midterm. I got hired at Wiley Middle School to coach the track team and teach Texas history. That was an eye opener for me. I promise you that. And but I did work spring training at Richfield that spring with my former coach John Vosick, From that job in the spring, I moved over to Richfield in the fall, and I was in charge of the junior varsity, and I became the head baseball coach. So,
did they played baseball?
They played baseball and played quite well. I had Burl Coker on the team, and and I checked the roll to make sure he was on the bus. Burl here. Okay, we can leave. We can leave now.
We had a running joke a long time ago that Coach Tusa never knew the name of any of the other sports, just the football coaches. Anyway, so when did you become the head coach at Riker?
I became the head coach there, Tom, in 19. Let's see. Let me back up a little bit. I think it was 70, maybe 74, 75, somewhere in there.
Was that your first job?
That was my first head job.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it was 75, and went over there and was there for 2 years. There again, old coach had something to do with me getting there, and and I hired first assistant Albert Grazier. There was 4 of us that coached 2 teams there. 2 of us coached the varsity, 2 of us coached the junior varsity. That day is long gone.
Boy, is it ever.
You got more sitting behind the bench than you do on the bench. And as far as coaches go, I look at the basketball teams now, the college basketball teams, and when they shake hands, it takes them good 10, 15 minutes to shake everybody's hand.
I thought each player had its own personal coach.
I think that's true, and own personal chef and chauffeur and everything else. But 2 of us coached that, and we did that for 2 years. And then that in 1979, I was hired at Jefferson Moore, my first public school job. And that story is one for the ages.
Yes, it is. And we're going to tell it right now because it really is a remarkable story. And you inherited a program that was, well, they weren't very good. In fact, they were incredibly bad. Talk us through that. I mean, and first of all, why did you take that job?
Well, I took that job because I thought I had nowhere to go but up. And there's another level there, and it's called staying at the same spot you were in. So, that was in 1979, and went over there and found out that there was no off-season program.
Wow.
There was not a piece of weight equipment anywhere to be found. Dressing room was a disaster. So I went about trying to.
So you say there's a chance.
I thought, when you follow an 0-10 guy, I said, hey, you know what? Got nowhere to go but up. Like I said, there's another level there, and that's staying at that level. But what the whole deal, Tom, was an eye opener for me. You talk about being challenged as a coach, and especially a young coach. I went in there thinking that I could do anything and make it happen right away. Little did I know that there was not a whole lot of talent there at the time. There had been no off-season program. Kids weren't required to come to practice. They could play on Fridays and miss during the week. Well, all that had to change. And as you well know, sometimes you have to tear down before you can build up. And that was certainly the case at Jefferson Moore. I had to redo the whole business. That first year there was just a year where we just struggled from week to week without much help. And I knew then and there that it was gonna be a challenge. I didn't know for sure if I could ever turn it around, but I knew it wasn't going to be immediately. But as the good Lord would have it, the next year we were 0-10 that first year there. And the next year we were a better football team because of our off season, and we lost a lot of close ball games, and that indicated that we were better, but we were still not a winner.
And I've asked you that before. Yeah. How did you know? Because you went 0-10 again, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. And I said, how did you know? And you said, because you were closing the gap. You were getting beat 50-0, and now you're getting beat 25-20 or whatever. You were close. You could see numerically on the scoreboard that you were closing the gap.
I have no question about it. We went from my first year there. We ran the Houston Veer, and it didn't resemble anything that Houston ever did. But and I knew then and there, we put the ball on the ground way too many times. I said, we're gonna pitch it to somebody, or we're gonna hand it to somebody, but we're gonna play here we come, no fair dodging. And we did that the next year. We went to the wing tee, and we tried to pound the ball. We were a little bit undersized that year, but we were competitive in a lot of ball games, which gave me some hope. And but there again, we went 0-10, and we went into the off season, and we had a couple of guys come over. Reggie Lewis came over and became our quarterback that third year. Of course, Keith Willis was our primary receiver, and we had a couple of good running backs. JoJo Easley and Alton Jackson. And so we went into that season, Tom, and we were 0-4. Now, I had been called in the offseason and said, Coach, if you don't win this year, probably we're going to have to make a change. I said, you know what? You don't have to tell me that. I'll have those keys on your desk so fast you'd make your head spin. But it was a turning point, and you can credit it to a lot of things, but of course I always give God the credit for everything. But we were in that third year, we were beginning to find our way, and we started the season off 0-4. We ended up winning the fifth game at Old Tyson Field. We beat Marlin,
right?
And we beat them because we had a third and 28, and we ran a draw and laid 29 yards, and we held on to win that ball game. To tell you how historic that was, on Monday when we got to school, they beckoned everybody to the gym. We had a pep rally on Monday. After that victory, and we had guys hanging from the rafters. I mean, all of a sudden, and you know how it is. All of a sudden, the weight of the world fell off.
Right.
And and we were once again we were feeling like we had gotten there and we had accomplished something, and we went on to win the district championship.
Did you beat Conley that year?
No, Conley beat us in the first game.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, I knew you'd get around. I wasn't going to bring it up. But anyhow. Oh, we did, but we played really well.
Yes, you did.
And it was a good ball game, and that game kind of propelled us on. We won the next 6 games in a row. We drew Georgetown at Baylor Stadium. They were ranked in the top 5 of the state, and we beat them. So we won our first playoff game. And then we met our Waterloo down there. We went down to Spring, Texas to play what was probably one of the best football teams I've ever seen. And it was Beaumont. Was it Hebert?
Hebert.
Yeah,
Beaumont Hebert.
Yeah, Hebert. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well, we went out there, and we were playing at Spring, and they have a big walk. They have a big walkover. Walks for the visitors to walk over the stadium where you're warming up and everything. And of course, guys were hollering at us, "Hey, get those basketballs ready for those guys!" And we were hearing all that, ha ha ha. And then they came out on the field, and I knew what they were talking about. Jerry Ball, Floyd Dixon. There were about 4 or 5 others that were Division I players. The funny thing is that one of my better kids, Willis, my tailback, he came over there after about the first series. We'd run a quick pitch, and he got tackled for a 2-yard loss. He looked at me, he said, Coach, I don't know if we can beat these guys. I said, you know what? We signed on for 48 minutes. We'll do the best we can, and just go out there and have some fun.
Coach,
but we took a beating, and lo and behold, they got beat the next week by who was it? Like somebody down south. What was the kid? Tyrone Thurman. I think
Beaumont French.
Yeah. Anyhow, they got beat the next week. I didn't think anybody but the Dallas Cowboys could beat them. But anyhow, that propelled us, and after that we were in the playoffs the next 4 years in a row, and then it came down to consolidation at that time, and but we had some really good players. The Walker brothers, Wayne Walker and his Reggie Lewis, Donald Harris,
right,
who was a two-way player, and we had a really good offensive line. A lot of big kids in there. Coach Vossick's son was our center, and Tyrone Powell, one of our tackles, Trent King. Those guys came around and really became a very competitive football team. In fact, in '84, we lost we lost up in Garland to a team from I'm trying to think of Denison, I think. Anyhow, and it was about the 3rd or 4th round, but they went on to win the state championship. But things came together. Everybody bought in. We had an off season going that I think was the difference then, and I think it's the difference now. I don't know that people drive the players like we used to be driven, and
right.
We were used to. I mean, we considered that a badge of honor to be pushed and somebody to be hollering at you and doing all that kind of stuff. But when we consolidated and we started the new Waco High School, and that's when we brought 3 schools together, and we had a spring training that year. We brought them all together, and fortunately, we had some really good leaders. I had Ted Long on that team, Jimmy
right.
Dow. There were some good players on both sides. Anthony Williams was a superior linebacker, and Reggie Miller. We had just a lot of good players, and fortunately, they gelled pretty quickly. We went 9-1 that first year. We lost the first round of the playoffs to a good Longview team up at Texas Stadium, and I learned a lot, and we learned a lot because people don't know this, but we were the second smallest school in that division. It wasn't.
Back in those days, it only went to 5A, right? And you were the second smallest.
We were the second smallest in 5A. We were just over the mark because all the schools in Waco had gotten small.
Right.
They had shrunk considerably. Richfield obviously was still the biggest one, but But we began to challenge the groups that we had with a preseason that would bare our souls naked, so to speak. We bit off just really some really good teams early, and I think it benefited us because it let us know quickly what we had, what we were dealing with, what our strong points were, what our weaknesses were, and so on and so forth. But that was we came out of the gate that year in 1986 with a fast start, and from then on, we of course for the 23 years I was there, we were in the playoffs 19 times.
Now hold that thought.
Yeah,
we got to get a break.
Yeah.
We're going to come back and we're going to continue talking about Waco High and then on to becoming the athletic director. And I know we're up against the clock, but we're going to run long today because we can. We'll take a break and we're coming right back with more.
Since 1996, Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers at 18th and Herring has been serving Waco's best burger. There's nothing better than a delicious burger cooked just the way you like it, with garden fresh toppings on a buttered bun. Add tots, fries, curly fries, or onion rings for a perfect meal. So what are you waiting on? How about Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers today? Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Double R Old Fashioned Hamburgers. And don't forget to ask about Double R's catering. Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. Family owned and operated, Jasper's Barbecue is serving up Texas-style barbecue meats and sandwiches and all the fixins. Enjoy mouth-watering brisket, ribs, pulled pork, and don't forget the potato salad and barbecue beans. Located in Waco on Elm Street, right off of I-35, open Tuesday through Saturday 10 until 2 or until the food runs out. Stop by today and enjoy the best barbecue around. Voted one of the best barbecue joints by Texas Monthly. That's Jasper's Barbecue in Waco. You won't leave hungry.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycats mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
All right, you're back with us. We are visiting with Coach Johnny Tusa. We are brought to you in part by our good friends at Lake Waco Golf Club. 254-756-2161 will get you a tee time today. Or you can check them out at wacogc.com. That's wacogc.com. Lake Waco Golf Club, Lake Waco Golf Club. Thank you. You can check them out, and you'll be glad you did. I'm going to be out there later on today. We're going to do some work out there today, so that'd be a lot of fun. Soon as we finish up the show. And we're also brought to you by our good friends at JK Roofing. Whether it's a metal roof or a conventional shingles roof, give them an opportunity to earn your trust and earn your business. I think you'll be very pleased with JK Roofing. JKRoofs.com. That's JKRoofs.com. 254-744-2211 for JK Roofs. All right, Coach, we make the segue. You're at Waco High. You got Richfield's colors. You got Jefferson Moore's mascot. You got the city of Waco's. I mean, you the three combined, and you use a little bit of everything, and then this program lights up and takes off, and you make a terrific run, and you end up playing for a state championship in San Antonio.
Yeah, we did. We and you know, Tom, as well as I know, you've got to have players, and you've got to have quality players, not only with athletic ability, but they've got to have the mentality, a winning spirit, a mentality for the game, to learn the game. And we tried our best to develop as many leaders as we possibly could, and we wanted our program to be able to compete with anybody in the state of Texas. Irrespective of where we came from, what we used to be, on and on. You know, all that stuff was in the past. And as we moved into the future over there, we built it on solid ground, and we maintained a consistency from year to year.
And that's hard, isn't it?
It is indeed. And when you have expectations can deliver you in the wrong direction from time to time, because you think you're up here, but you're really not. So we try to stay away from unreasonable expectations.
Mm-hmm.
And from year to year, what we wanted to do was just to go out there and play to the best of our ability with whatever we had. And fortunately, we ended up, while I was there, we had 104 Division I signees in that 23-year span. And if you don't have 3 or 4 of those guys on the team at that level, you can't even compete. You're gonna get hammered pretty good. But we played the likes of DeSoto. We played all of the East Texas people. The Tylers,
Lufkins,
Longviews, all those
played
guys out there. Yeah. And then we went down and played Deer Park, Lamarck, and all those people.
I kept saying, you think you can get us a little further out of town? I mean, all those non-district games, we were dragging home at 4 in the morning.
I know it. Well, we went out to Midland and got home at 4 in the morning. And we played Abilene out there. I mean, when you're winning, in the way schedules work, and 2 people have to agree. Well, you can agree to play his team, but he might not agree to play your team. So you got to move on. And we ended up one year without a ball game. We had to go down to play Brownsville Pace.
Wow.
And that was a weekend from Hades. We left school at 4:00, went to Corpus Christi and spent the night, got there about 9. Got up the next day and had breakfast. We bussed down to Port Isabel, and we used their facility to dress and play. We played Brownsville Pace that night, and they thought we were the Green Bay Packers down there. We were just a pretty good team, but not a great football team. But we ran away with that one. But we went back to Corpus after that game, spent the night. We arrived back in Waco at 3:00 Sunday afternoon. We had left at 4 on Friday, so that was 48-hour ordeal to play a high school football game. And then we had to play Temple the next week in Baylor Stadium. So we had to get ready in a hurry, and get into district play. That was our last non-district game, but that was a long weekend and one where I don't know. I would wish that on anybody, to have to be in charge of about 50 teenagers on a beach here at Corpus Christi. I got up and looked out the window, and half our guys were out there with some of those shrimpers out there. And I said, you know what, that doesn't look too good. I better get in the middle of that one. So anyhow, they were buying hats and everything else from them. So it was quite an ordeal.
Hey, we haven't even scratched the surface. Will you come back?
Sure. Glad to.
We got to get. I mean, I know Lark's got 20 questions over there, and we didn't even get to any of his. Let's get a break right here, then we'll come back and wrap this one up. But we're going to get Coach back. I mean, we got a lot more to talk about. We didn't even get to FCA. Right. We didn't get to you being an AD at Waco ISD for several years. We got a lot of stuff to talk with you about, but we'll get you back on the program soon. We'll take a break. We're coming right back with more in just a moment.
Morrison's Gifts, Waco's oldest family-owned gift store, wants to ask a question to the guys out there. Don't you just love gift giving? Does John Hart, Consuela, or Jellycat mean anything to you? If not, at Morrison's, we have your answers and your back. For 47 years, we have guided men and you ladies through the trauma of selecting the right gift for the right person. Come and see us at 4312 West Waco Drive in the Brazos Square Center, close to Jason's Deli. That's Morrison's Gifts, owned by a proud Baylor Bear.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Bumblebee Blinds of Waco and Temple is your one-stop shop for custom window treatment, transforming your vision into reality. Choose from a selection of shades, blinds, shutters, and curtains. Bumblebee Blinds stands behind our service and products, ensuring peace of mind with our trusted warranty. Call Bumblebee Blinds today to schedule your design consultation. Bumblebee Blinds, simplifying window treatments one covering at a time. BumblebeeBlinds.com.
Being stuck on the side of the road is stressful no matter what time it is. Tow King is here to help. A locally owned and operated family-run business, Tow King offers 24-hour emergency roadside assistance with trained operators and high-caliber equipment for damage-free towing. Tow King of Waco is a company you can count on. Call Tow King the next time you need help. Check them out on Facebook, and remember, slow down or move over. All right, we are back. Just enough time to kind of wrap this thing up. Thanks to Brice Cherry, the Waco Tribune Herald, for being with us on the program. Thanks to Coach Johnny Tusa for being on the program. We're going to get Coach back. Got more stories to tell, so we'll do that soon. Coming up tomorrow, we've got a full show for you. Jordan Cox, golf coach at UMHB, is on the show. Chris Clemens, head baseball coach at Robinson. District play begins tonight. We're going to kind of get Chris to preview the district for us. And then Kyle Yeomans will talk some Cowboys as they get ready for the draft. So all of that coming up on the program tomorrow here on the Tom Barfield Show. Many thanks to everyone who's been a part of this one. For Lark, I'm Tom. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.